Alright, another GAC. This one is against Jhanne, who is run by same as Shutoko Johnson, who is a Maw buddy. He was also in DL Valor with me. Throwback. So I actually did pretty well this time. I got a 1908, but Jhanne slash Shuto beat me out by 7 points. So I was a little bit butthurt by that. But good news is I finally got my GL counters down for the most part. Kylo is... Actually, they're both about the same. Shuto put actually what I think is a very easy to beat Rey team, but in a way it kind of makes sense because you're using a couple of comparably garbage tunes and preserving a lot of other tunes, because it's actually fairly easy to beat GLs if you have the right stuff available to you. But enough about Star Wars. Happy May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. I'm a little late in recording these videos. It is May the 4th. Some good news in the world of Star Wars outside of Swigo. We'll get to Swigo and May the 4th stuff in a minute. I just saw on Instagram that one of my favorite up-and-coming directors, in fact, probably many people's favorite up-and-coming directors, Taika Waititi. He is a Kiwi Jew, so I'm a big fan, obviously, being an Asian Jew. He's Polynesian, I'm Asian Jew, but it's close enough. Anyway, Taika has been picked to co-write and direct a new Star Wars feature film. That feature film has not been named. I think the language is quite purposeful, insofar as they said it is a standalone film, or rather it's a feature film, which to me implies standalone film, because I feel like they being Lucas and Star Wars, would have said, the first movie in a trilogy. So it sounds like they might be revamping the Star Wars story films, the anthology films, which I'm okay with because I actually really liked both of them. A lot of people did not like Solo. I actually really liked Solo. Bella's flashing me, trying to distract me from recording the video. I really liked Solo. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't like whatever his name's portrayal of Han Solo. I didn't love it, but I also did not want to see someone's Harrison Ford Han Solo impersonation, because that would have been far, far worse. So I didn't hate Solo. Rogue One was awesome. Anyone that didn't like Rogue One is just objectively wrong. The only thing that you can be annoyed about reasonably to come out of Rogue One is that Diego Luna has his own series coming up, and Felicity Jones, Jyn Erso, does not. I really don't care to see a Cassian Andor spin-off series. I would much prefer to see a Jyn Erso spin-off series. I would much prefer to see a Saw Gerrera spin-off movie or series pick. Cassian Andor, probably the least compelling character out of Rogue One, in my opinion. Jyn Erso, far more compelling. Saw Gerrera, far more compelling. Shit, K2SO, far more compelling to me than Cassian Andor. So Taika Waititi's been picked to write or co-write and direct a new film. If you are unfamiliar with Taika and Taika's work, Jojo Rabbit, he wrote the screenplay for that and directed it and was a supporting actor in it. He was Hitler, spoiler alert. I thought that was really fucking funny. Taika also did Thor Ragnarok, which is the only Thor movie that I actually enjoyed. And most notably to Star Wars fans, Taika Waititi voiced IG-11 and directed the season finale for The Mandalorian. And the seventh and eighth episodes, the last two episodes of Mandalorian, while admittedly only one of them is or was directed by Taika, I believe they both still have a 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. So if all those facts aggregated don't give you hope for this movie that Taika will be co-writing and directing, then you're just a fucking cynic. Taika has a very good writing, directing style, it seems, and the stuff that I've seen, and I've seen all the things that I mentioned, of course. He is very funny. He's really funny. I mean, Thor was great. I mean, he is voiced what's his face in Thor Ragnarok also. He's really good, and he's excited about it. And he's not a kind of cookie cutter, like standard formula film director. So I'm very, very excited about that. Additionally, but separately, the final episode of Clone Wars dropped today. I liked it. I did not like it as much as the second to last episode. I enjoyed the second to last episode far more, I think. Just in case you haven't seen it, I will not spoil it. If you don't have Disney Plus, what are you doing? Because literally every single piece of Star Wars media is available on Disney Plus. I think with the exception of Solo, which might still be on Netflix. But today, Rise of Skywalker dropped on Disney Plus. And I know a lot of people don't like Rise of Skywalker. I disagree, but that's fine. I can see why a number of people might not like it. I enjoyed the fan service. There was a lot of fan service, but I enjoyed it. I liked, well, with the exception of Lando, or the manner in which Lando was brought back into the story, I wasn't super keen on that. I was happy to have Billy D back in general, though. A lot of people didn't like that Old Man Wedge came back. I liked it. I thought that was a nice little homage. I liked that Chewie ended up getting his medal, because a lot of Star Wars fans were pissed off that Luke and Han got a medal and Chewie didn't. Again, and maybe you don't like the manner in which that was corrected, but I ultimately still like the movie. But if you don't have Disney Plus, I don't know what you're doing, because that also means that you haven't seen The Mandalorian, and that is nothing short of crime against Star Wars humanity. So get to it. So yeah, that Taika Waititi news is very exciting. I think I would prefer to have him, I definitely would prefer to have him than the two guys that ran Game of Thrones, because, the Game of Thrones was really, really good for a long time, but at the end of it, they kind of just gave up or just didn't give a shit. So I don't want to see that happen to a Star Wars film, because Star Wars films already have so much scrutiny from everybody. We are the harshest critics, Star Wars fans. So that's all the Star Wars news. For Swigo, we got a few things from CG for May the 4th. Most of the things that we got were packs, which I, of course, bought. I bought all of the relic packs because that, to me, is the bottleneck that I end up trying to squeeze through every time a new character comes out. The gear's usually not so much of an issue, but having to insta Relic 7 a new, important character is what I fear the most. I don't worry about having enough Zetas. I don't worry about the gear because I can buy that easily if I'm missing pieces, which I'm usually not because I hoard a lot. But the relic stuff, I'm always trying to keep extra caches of. So most of what we got were packs from CG. They did give us some stuff. They did give us some relic mats, some slicing mats, 5 Zeta salvage, a couple of character shards, including but not limited to Clone Wars Chewie. So I thought that was funny, just as a token gift. But it goes to show you that they do listen to and read some of the things that we post. They just choose to ignore the bulk of them, or bulk of the things that we say or ask for. But they still did something. However, I feel like they gave us more last year, and there is something to be said for skimping on free stuff, because it really doesn't cost them anything. And my Guildy and Buddy Capifico 22 were talking about this a little bit today. He and I play the Game of Thrones Beyond the Wall game, and they are currently where CG used to be, like when things were good. There was a server outage for the Game of Thrones game, literally for like an hour, maybe 2, and they comped us a bunch of shit. Granted, we don't have that many server outages with Swigo anymore, but Swigo used to be a lot better about giving out free shit, because it's not like it costs them anything, because it doesn't. They can generate whatever they want and however much of it they want. So I would have liked to have seen maybe a little bit more from CG, whether it was honestly Zetas, not even just for me, because I have well over 100 Zetas, but for newer players, and I've said this many, many, many times on my streams, but newer players, no matter how much they spend, a new player could come in and drop 100 grand straight away, but they will still be well behind the curve when it comes to Zetas. It's very hard and uncommon to be able to buy Zetas. You can buy some today. If you buy the Lightspeed pack, there's 5 Zeta salvage in there, but even that is token. So there's no incentive for a new player to come in and spend a lot, because they could drop $100,000. They could have a 7 million GP account, but if they only have, even if they have 50 Zetas, they're going to be 50 Zetas behind most 7 million GP players. So they're just never going to catch up. So I would have liked to have seen some more Zetas available. Yes, sure, if everyone gets the same, then it's going to be a negligible difference for a new player getting, a full Zeta when all veteran players are also getting a full Zeta. That is true. But the good news for a new player, were they to get a full Zeta or more Zeta salvage, they have the benefit of everyone having come before them to, tell them which Zetas are good, which Zetas are not, which are relevant now, which are not. Because I got a few Zetas that I haven't used in forever. So, anyway, final score, 1908. And he just edges me out.